Inspirators, it's Inspiring Vanessa here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And today I'm coming back with another YouTube tutorial for you guys, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my thumbnails, or basically how you can make thumbnails and which apps I use for it. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. So first, when I usually make my thumbnails, I take the photo here on my camera, and then along with all the other video footage, I would download that to my iPad. So now that I've sent the photo onto my iPad, the YouTube thumbnail size is 1920 x 1080. So basically the way that you get this size for your photo when you make the thumbnail is you basically go into the app called Fonto. It's called P-H-O-N-T. I'll put the app photo here, and I'll also be using the app called Pixar. I use that sometimes occasionally to add maybe certain emojis or certain items to the thumbnail just to make, or basically just the finishing touches, but otherwise I mainly use Fonto. So now I'm going to go onto my app called Fonto, and I'm going to click I'm going to go on here and I'm going to click the camera right here, which is at the bottom in the middle, and I'm going to click plain image, and I'm going to click on the white one, and where it says the numbers at the top, I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to go on custom size. Then I'm going to type it in 1920, and then I'm going to write 1080, and then I'm going to click done. Now I'm going to click save. Well, I'm going to click use, sorry. And now I'm just going to save that plain image to my camera roll. So now every single time I make my thumbnails, I can basically just put my photo and overlay it so that when it comes out, it'll basically crop it to the correct size. So now I'm going to go into the three lines in the corner, and I'm going to click add image. Next I'm going to click my photo, and I'm just going to click done. So once this loads, I'm going to quickly move the size, and basically when you want to add text, you can just tap it anywhere and you just click on the image, and I'm going to click on size and make it bigger, just so that it goes over the white photo. By the way, this needs to go completely over the white so that it looks like just a normal image, but obviously the correct size. So now I'm just going to click save on that, and then I'm just going to download it as a completely new photo. Now I'm going to click on the camera again and click photo albums and download that correct image. So now, the next thing I'm going to do is by adding my text. So now I'm just going to tap anywhere and click on add text. And Fonto is a really great app because it gives you all of these cool fonts that you can use, but you can also download your own fonts that may not be available for you on the app, and you can download different fonts that you find on Google perhaps through the website called Da Font. I basically download most of the personalized fonts through that website, but otherwise on Google there are a lot of other font websites where you can download them to other apps. So now I'm going to type in how to create, and this is in the font that I downloaded, so this is not going to be there when you download the app. But when you click on font here, these are all of my fonts that I downloaded, and then fonts here, there are all of these fonts which you can choose from, which are basically as good as the ones that you may find or download. So I'm just going to stick to my one, which is basically that. Oh, sorry. So now I'm just going to click on that. It's called Blacklisted, by the way. And I'm just going to click done on how to create. Next I'm just going to move it here, and it comes up with these 6 boxes, and I'm going to click on style. So when I click on the style, it comes up with all of this. It looks a little bit complicated, but once you use it, I'm pretty sure that when I first downloaded it, I was a bit scared, but now I think I'm pretty good with it and I'm pretty used to it. So now I'm just going to click on stroke, and that's basically an outline of the lettering, so you can make it bigger inwards or outwards. I'm just basically going to make mine a decent size. Then I click on background. I have all these colors saved so they're always the same backgrounds. So I think I'm going to use this color. Actually, wait. I'm going to use purple. And now I'm going to click on style at the top and make my shadow. And basically you can kind of fiddle around with it and make different changes. But otherwise you can make your background any size, or you can just change the color of your text. But this is basically how I make my style of thumbnails. So now I'm going to make this bigger and tilt it a little bit. And now I'm going to make some more text that says thumbnails. now I'm just going to do the same thing but with maybe a different background colour, and obviously adding my shadow. And I'm just going to make the stroke a little bit bigger so that they kind of match. I'm very much a perfectionist, so I want this to look as good as possible, which you guys can probably see that I put a lot of effort into the thumbnails that I make here on YouTube. I'm just going to make that a little bit bigger. So obviously I'm not just going to leave it like this because it looks a little bit plain. So now I'm just going to save that with the text on it. And next I'm going to go into Google and find PNGs or SVGs. So now I'm going to be adding the app photos, or basically the app logos, onto the thumbnail so people can see what apps I use. So I'm going to go into Google now and I'm going to type in Fonto logo PNG. And PNG is basically, it doesn't come up with a background so that you can move it anywhere without having this white background behind it. So I'm just going to click search on that and I'm going to go onto images obviously. So now I'm going to go onto images and obviously the app is going to come up. So usually I just find one that shows kind of like the checkered background, and that's how you know that it is an SVG. So you just need to wait for this to load. Okay. So this one is an SVG because you can kind of see in the corners that it is a checkered pattern. So I'm going to click on that and save the image, and then I'm going to find a Pixar logo and also find that on a PNG background. Just going to save that to my camera roll as well. Click save image. So now I'm going to go onto PixArt, and I use PixArt for a lot of edits that I make. So I also use it obviously for the thumbnail sometimes as well. So this is going to go into an unfinished project, which sometimes it does, which is actually super helpful sometimes, because if you ever accidentally delete something or if you lose something by accident, usually the PixArt will save it if you just did it. Obviously if it's something that you did from like a week ago, I don't think it will usually save it. Okay, so now I'm going to click on the plus sign here, which is kind of purple, and I'm going to click on to the photo with all of my text. I'm just going to quickly let that load onto the app. So now I'm going to click, well, there are a lot of features here, and I'm going to click on add photo, which is where I'm going to add my app logos. So I'm going to click on these two and just click add in the top corner. So it's going to load both of them here, and you can basically move them around however you want with your two fingers. And then I'm going to click border, and this just basically makes the white border around them. I don't know why I like it like this. I think it just looks more polished, and obviously it makes the logos stand out much more. So I think I'm going to do it like that. And then you just click apply, which will basically make it go onto the photo. You cannot unapply, by the way, so make sure that you click it when you're fully okay with it. And I'm just going to click apply, then I'm going to click next and click save, and then it should save to my camera roll. So that's basically how I make my thumbnails. If you guys want to know how I make, how I put the emojis on there, you basically just go into Google. It's basically the same as finding the PNGs of the different app logos. You basically type in a description of the emoji. So let's say it's this emoji, which is basically like a really iconic emoji that I use on most of my thumbnails. You can type in shock or OMG emoji and just type in PNG or SVG, and it should come up with an outline background. You can find a lot of them on Google. Just make sure that they are PNG and they have that checkered background in the back or that checkered pattern. And if you just click on that and save it to your camera roll and obviously add it the same way you would add it as a photo onto PixArt, or you can also add it as an image onto Fonto. That is basically how you can add them onto your photos, but I have a lot of them saved, which is why I use a lot of the same ones usually. But that's basically how you make the thumbnails. I know that making thumbnails, this video was pretty descriptive and it looked a little bit more complicated than you might seem, but I hope this helped you guys in some kind of way, maybe the apps that you want to use, or basically just an inspiration on how you can make your thumbnails if you recently just started making a YouTube channel. But now it is come to the end of this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment more YouTube tutorials you would like to see, and without further ado, I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!